Welcome to the Student Scholars Public Speaking Series. Have you ever listened to a speech that felt a little all over the place? Maybe the speaker jumped from one idea to another without a clear flow, or perhaps the message was hard to follow. A well-structured speech, on the other hand, is clear, engaging, and easy for the audience to understand. Today, we're going to talk about how to organize a speech with a clear beginning, middle, and end. This is the backbone of any great presentation and will ensure that your message is not only heard, but also understood and remembered. 1. The importance of structure in a speech. A speech without structure can feel like a maze. Your audience won't know where to go, and they might get lost along the way. But when you structure your speech properly, you give your audience a roadmap. This roadmap helps them follow along and stay engaged throughout. The key to a well-structured speech lies in breaking it down into 3 parts: the beginning or introduction, the middle or body, the end or conclusion. 2. The beginning. Grab attention and set expectations. The beginning of your speech is your chance to capture attention and set the stage for what's to come. A great introduction will hook your audience and make them eager to hear more. It should include a hook. As we've discussed earlier, start with something that grabs attention, whether it's a question, a surprising fact, a story, or a quote. For example, you could start with, "Did you know that the average person speaks for about 15 minutes a day in a formal setting? Imagine how much power lies in those few minutes." A preview. After grabbing their attention, let your audience know what to expect. This gives them a mental framework for following your speech. For example, in the next few minutes, I will talk about 3 key ways to structure your speech for maximum impact. Establishing relevance. Make sure to explain why the topic matters to the audience. Why should they care? Why should they keep listening? 3. The middle. Presenting your main ideas. Now, let's move on to the middle of your speech, also known as the body. This is where you present the core of your message, the meat of your speech. The middle should consist of clear main points. Think of the middle as the journey you take your audience on. Your goal here is to keep them engaged by presenting 2 to 4 clear main points that support your message. Each point should be logically connected and easy to follow. For example, Point 1. The structure of a speech begins with the introduction. This is where you set the tone and grab attention. Point 2. The next part is the body, where you provide your key arguments or ideas. Point 3. Finally, we come to the conclusion, where you wrap everything up and leave your audience with a memorable takeaway. Supporting evidence. To make your points convincing, back them up with facts, examples, or stories. This is where you build credibility and show why your message matters. Transitions. To help your audience follow along smoothly, use transitions between each point. Phrases like next, moving on, or let's explore another point keep the flow intact and prevent the speech from feeling fragmented. 4. The end. Summarize and leave a lasting impression. The end of your speech is just as important as the beginning. This is where you wrap everything up, summarize the key points, and leave your audience with something to think about. A strong conclusion ensures that your message sticks with your audience even after they leave. Here's how to end your speech effectively. Summarize your main points. Remind your audience of what you've just discussed. A quick recap of your main points will reinforce the message. For example, today, we've talked about how to start your speech with a strong hook, how to organize your main points in the body, and how to wrap things up with a powerful conclusion. Call to action. If appropriate, encourage your audience to take action based on what they've learned. This could be a call to reflect, make a change, or implement something new. For example, now that you know the basic structure of a speech, I encourage you to apply these techniques in your next presentation. End with a strong closing. Finish with a memorable thought or statement. This could be a final quote, a thought-provoking question, or a powerful call to action. For example, remember, how you structure your speech is just as important as what you say. A clear and organized speech can make all the difference in how your audience receives your message. 5. Putting it all together. To recap. The beginning. Start with a hook, provide a preview of your points, and make it relevant to your audience. The middle. Present your main points clearly, support them with evidence, and use transitions to keep the flow smooth. The end. Summarize the key points, encourage action, and close with a powerful statement that leaves a lasting impression. When you structure your speech this way, you're creating a logical, easy-to-follow roadmap for your audience, which makes it easier for them to understand, remember, and be moved by your message. In conclusion, a well-structured speech can make all the difference between an unforgettable presentation and one that's quickly forgotten. Whether you're speaking to a small group or a large crowd, organizing your speech into a clear beginning, middle, and end will help you deliver your message more effectively. The structure provides a framework that makes your speech engaging, persuasive, and memorable. This concludes our video on structuring a speech for maximum impact. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you now feel ready to structure your own speeches in a way that captivates your audience from start to finish. See you next time.